Leak detection I have through a few sites, mainly being industrial, JDI, we work on ammonia. So a lot of the leak detection is done for ourselves, litmus paper and stuff like that. But we have got F-gas sites, which participate in leak detection with my engineer through sniffers, bubble up spray and general soap and bubbles. To start with, I'm from walking into a site, mainly the plant rooms where we have to deal with larger compressors. First step towards fixed leak detection panel, review that first, and then we'll move to soap and bubbles and an electronic leak detector. It picks up the A2Ls really well.
Right, okay, so when I was an apprentice, there were stories of refrigerant being used to blow out coils, refrigerant being used to pump up car tyres. There was an awareness of the GWP, let alone the ozone layer, which obviously first was identified as an issue. Leak testing wasn't really carried out. It wasn't a necessity to carry out. It was only if there was a problem with the system. But obviously now there's a lot more options for leak testing, as we probably discussed with the students, the apprentices, everything from leak testing with a bubbler to UV leak detectors, ultrasonic, or even using the trace gas, but again with a leak detector. So there's a lot more options, and with F-gas now, the qualification 2079, the emphasis is on leak detection and the direct impacted environment, which also could be the indirect impacted environment. So hence it's part of the whole procedure for F-gas when the system's being commissioned that these should take place. And the good thing is now the engineers, the senior engineers out there are practicing this, so the apprentices don't know any different, which is a good thing.
I think they do. I think now people are ultimately out to impress all the time. Every job that we do, whether it's a small income or a large income, we want to impress not only our client but the people that are looking down on us. Like other companies and stuff like that. I do a lot of social media activity. I do, but basically I like people to look at me as like an ambassador. So the job I do, I want to reflect in how other people operate. And I don't want someone to go, oh, look at how bad that job looks. I want, the likes of JVAC to come to me and say, great, you was using our equipment there. What did you think of it? Yeah, it saved me a lot of time. I think you've got to have self-pride, and I think also as well, it's how you portray your image. We've always been very, predominantly sign-written vehicles, smart company uniform, right footwear, the right look, so when an engineer walks into a building and stuff like that, you're getting an engineer, and also as well, having the right tooling, like we said about, if you've got the right tools to do that job, you can, as a person, you can confidently do that work, and then, give your customer the answer they're looking for. When they ask you, how's it going, have you got it running? And you say, I've got it going, short of gas, we found a leak. What we did was, we used our new fancy leak detector, and it pointed us in the right direction, So when you go through your F-gas training, if you use like a reputable place, they'll spend a lot of time with you indicating what newer methods are and stuff like that. But as the internet grew and stuff like that, you learn about new products and you start interacting. Interaction's a huge thing. So whether you're interacting with, other engineers or the likes of JVAC, Advanced, Aspen, all them sort of people, what happens is that, they're market research and stuff like that. You've got to think they're researching all the time for the next big thing, aren't they? So, and when they're doing that, what they're doing is they're sending that alarm signal out for the engineers. It's like it triggers your brain. You think, oh, new tool.
Something's coming out.
Yeah, something's coming out. And then ultimately, you start talking about stuff. But yeah, leak detection as a whole has massively moved on. So if you look at it now from the days of using a bit of soapy washing up liquid and the flammable lamp, you've now got digital systems that sample the air. You've now got full electronic leak detectors that sample the environment, the air or the area you're working in. You've got these different kinds of bubble up leak detectors, easy find and stuff like that. Then you've got your spectra line. So spectra line is the dye that we spoke about earlier on that you put in the system, and that stays in the system, so that will go around. And literally, you know, every inch, I recommend that in any big system, that spectra line, because it's like a gift from God. It helps you in the right direction. You know, it pushes you that way, so you know essentially you've got to leak test that whole area. You know, and then if you've got anything bigger than that, then you've got to start looking at the likes of using a dry nitrogen, pressure testing it, you know. And there's tracer gas now as well. So yeah, if you've got a leak now which is very, very difficult to find, you've now got tracer gas, which is a mixture, and then you get a different kind of leak detector for that. It is because what's happening now is that, you know, sometimes if you get a really small leak, the problem is with small leaks, they can be very labour intensive. So spending a lot of time looking for it and stuff like that. You've got to think this stuff, these new implications, what you're putting in. So these electronic leak detectors, how advanced they are now on the older stuff. You know, this tracer gas, it's all to save downtime. And, you know, it's like I said to you, you know, you could spend 5 days looking for a leak if you didn't have them tools, but you could spend half a day if you've got the right tooling.